This is RD Sharma solution. We are taking chapter 16 exercise 16.1 tangents and normals. At what points on the curve y is equal to x square minus 4x plus 5 is the tangent perpendicular to the line 2y plus x equals to 7. So let us equate it with the y equals mx plus c, which is the standard equation, and we have 2y is equal to, I'm taking everything on the right except y term, because we need a single y. The exponent also, the coefficient also has to be taken on the right hand side. So we have to divide everything by 2. We get y is equal to negative half x plus 7 by 2. Now we are going to compare these two. M is equal to negative half. M is negative half. So now this tangent is perpendicular to this line. So we have these two. If a line is perpendicular to another line, one is called tangent, one is called normal. So if one is given, the other can be found out. Just take this negative one and put the content in the denominator, that is the slope, the other slope in the denominator, that is it will come as 2. Or you can also follow m1 into m2 equals to minus 1 relationship. We are finding the dy by dx, that is the slope of this equation, 2x square minus 4, and since both are the slope, we have to equate them. So 2x minus 4 is equal to 2, 2x square is equal to 6 goes here, and then we have, this is 2x, there is a slight change here, it will be 2x. So 2x is equal to 6, x will be equal to 3, and this 3 goes in the original equation in order to compute y. So I'm placing x as 3 in the original equation in order to get the y coordinate, because x coordinate has already been computed, which is 3. So the point is x comma y, that is 3 comma 2. This is your answer. So let me clear it and let me show it to you. This is how you're going to go about it and solve it. Find the points on the curve. This is the curve. Now this curve, there are certain questions which are coming, and there are parabolas, hyperbolas, and the conic sections. You don't have to worry about that, because the procedure will remain same, at which the tangent is parallel to the x-axis. A tangent which is parallel to x-axis, we have already done question like that. That simply means that tan theta equals to 0. That is, slope is equal to 0. Slope is clearly 0 because the tangent is parallel to the x-axis. X-axis with x-axis. If a line is a x-axis, then it is x-axis. So there is no angle between x-axis and x-axis. There is 0 angle. That is why slope is 0. This you can differentiate, but I'll tell you a better way to differentiate it. Just cross multiply. That is, take the LCM. 25x square. Here you go 4y square. In the denominator you have 25 into 4, that goes 100, and it goes on the right. Now this will make the differentiation quite easy. I am differentiating it now. Slope is 0, will differentiate, put dy by dx is equal to 0 then. So we have 25, 2x, differentiating x square is 2x. Then 4, y square will be 2y dy by dx, so it will be 8y dy by dx equals to 0. Because differentiation of 100 will be 0. So it will be, this will make the differentiation easier. That is why we first found out or eliminated the denominators, and it became easy. So 25x is equal to negative 4y dy by dx. So dy by dx is equal to minus 25x divided by negative 4y, and this has to be equal to slope, which is 0 here. So this is only possible when x is equal to 0. Minus 25x is equal to 0, that means x is equal to 0. So you have x is equal to 0. So in order to get y, just put x as 0 in the original equation. What do you get? Y square is equal to 25, y is equal to under root 25 plus minus. So it will be plus minus 5. So you have 2 points now. X will remain as 0. So 0, 5, x again 0, and it will be negative 5. So you have 5 and negative 5. This is the answer. There are certain questions like this only. We are going to follow the same strategy here. Let me show you the actual solution, because this is how you're going to write it. Now find the points on the curve, this one. And this is exactly equal to the previous question, because the only thing which is changed in this question is the tangent is parallel to the y-axis. Now, one angle is 0 when it is x-axis, one when it is perpendicular to x-axis, that is, it is parallel to y-axis, the angle will become pi by 2. So when you take 10 by pi by 2, tan 90 degree is infinite. So you are taking the angle anti-clockwise direction from the x-axis. That is going to be the slope. But tan pi by 2 as the angle, or the angle anti-clockwise direction with this line, which is actually the y-axis, is 90 degrees. So tan pi by 2 is infinite. There is nothing called infinite. You know it's uncomputable. But 1 by infinite is 0. If you divide anything by 0, that is going to be infinite. Again, we have done this exact question in the previous question. Computed this. So I'm just writing the differentiation. You already know how this has evolved, come. And this is equal to infinite. Infinite can be written as 1 by 0, but let me tell you, 1 by 0 is nothing. You cannot write it. It is not defined in mathematics. So you have to invert it. That is 0 by 1. So once you invert it, then you will get the proper form. So I'm just inverting both the sides, 0 by 1. So 4y will go up, negative 25x will come in the denominator. That is the whole idea of this one. I'm just suggesting you cannot have 0 or infinite things in your solution. It can be made in a way so that things seems realistic. So here y is equal to 0. Put it in the original equation, and when you put it in the original equation, of course this is going to be 0, x square is equal to 4, so x will be equal to plus minus under root 4, so x will be plus minus 2. So for a single value of y, we are getting two different values of x. So let me just make the pairs. Since y is 0, I placed y first, and since we have two different values, 2 and negative 2, I just place it here. These are the points or the coordinate pairs at which the tangent is parallel to the y-axis. Okay, this is quite self-explanatory, and this is how you're going to solve it. Find the points on the curve, this one, at which tangents are parallel to the x-axis. So we have done question like this. Let me do it quickly because the tangent slope is 0. Parallel to x-axis, tangent, that is your slope is 0. So I'm differentiating this equation and finding out dy by dx. You know how to differentiate it. We are differentiating with respect to x. So everything on the left will be dy by dx, on everything on the right will be the differentiation value, that is the slope. So dy by dx, the 2 gets cancelled, 1 minus x by y, this has to be equated with 0. So when you put it as 0, because dy by dx and tangents are parallel to x-axis, that is the slope of that line, that tangent is 0. So 1 minus x is 0, x is equal to 1. So this is x is equal to 1. So what will be the value of y? See, put this x equals to 1 here and try to compute the value of, I'm just placing the x equals to 1, and you will see that y will have certain value, y will come as plus minus 2. How? Y square is 4, and in the previous question we have already done y is equal to plus minus 2. So we have separate values of y, two different values of y for x equals to 1. So I am placing 1 time 2, 1 time negative 2. Again, let us see the actual solution, which is for your reference, because this is how you are going to go about it. Now almost similar to the question, only 9 and 16 has changed from the previous discussion. Two questions we have done almost similar to this one. So slope is 0. Tangent is parallel to x-axis. Anything parallel to x-axis, the slope is 0. And just multiply these, means make it so that you don't have anything in the denominator. If you have a denominator, then it becomes quite, while we are computing, it may create certain issues. But if you have straight numerators, it will be easier to understand and solve. So I'm just taking the differentiation, trying to find out dy by dx. Everything on the right will be dy by dx. dy by dx is what? Yes, slope. Slope is already given as 0. So here we have got minus 32x divided by 18y. There is a y also, I'll just write it. So it will be minus 16x by 9y. So you have this as the dy by dx, and since slope is also 0, so you can equate it now. Minus 16x is equal to 0, that is x is equal to 0. So when we have x as 0, let me just put these 0 and 0, because we already know for x equals to 0, there are certain values of y that are going to come, couple of values basically. So let us put x equals to 0 here. This will become 0, y square by 16 equals to 1, y will be equal to 60, y square will be equal to 16, y will be equal to plus minus 4. Please remember, whenever you have a square, whenever you take root, the perfect root, it will be plus and minus 2. Two values will come. So that is how 4 and minus 4 has come for the single value of 0. This question, as we have already done, so many of you would have or they can just skip this question. Next one is absolutely similar, only the tangent is parallel to y-axis. So by previous discussion, you are aware that the slope is going to be infinite. Again, let me tell you, we have a line which is parallel to y-axis. That line is called tangent. When y-axis has a slope of pi by this angle as pi by 2 and slope as tan pi by 2, which is infinite, the tangent will also have the slope as pi by 2, tan pi by 2, which is infinite. So we have already differentiated it, and it has to be equated to infinite, that is slope. So minus 16x by 9y from the previous question I have taken. I am now taking the numerator as denominator, or vice versa. So we have 9 by equals to 0, that means it has to be, 9 cannot be 0. It's a number. So y has to be 0. Because y we don't know. It has to be 0 then. Now y is equal to 0. That means just place these two values here, 0, 0. And for this value of 0, we are going to find out the value of x. So x squared by 9 is equal to 1. X will be equal to, x squared equals to 9. X will be equal to plus minus 3. So you have 3 and negative 3 as the value. This is 3. This is negative 3. This is your answer. Okay, now let me tell you how you are going to actually solve it, and these all in words you have to write. Now there is a question which is saying that whether at x equals to 2 and x equals to minus 2, there are tangents at these points, whether they are parallel or not. So if two lines are parallel, that means the slopes have to be equal. If two lines are perpendicular, the slope multiplication has to be -1. That is the criteria we know. So x is 2 in one case, x is -2 in one case. We will find out the value of y, and then we'll see what will be the dy by dx. If it is required, because we don't need y. Already x is given. X at 2, x at -2. So when you put x as 2, x as -2 in this original equation, which is y equal to 7x cube plus 11, we don't have to worry about any slope kind of thing or any tan theta. So whichever curve is there, there's a point 2 and minus 2 given, and I don't know the curve. I'm just saying that x equals to 2, this is a line. X equals to -2, there is a line. If they are parallel, they have to follow the condition that the slope has to be equal. So we will do one thing. We will first do dy by dx. That is, we will try to find out the dy by dx. So it will be 21x square. At x equals to 2, what will be the value? At x equals to -2, what will be the value? Because if you square 2 or -2, it will always be 4. I'm saying if you square it, you'll get that value. So 21 into 2 square, 21 into -2 square will give you 21 into 4 in both the case. In both the 2 and -2 when we implement it. So we get 84 in both the cases. That means dy by dx for these are equal. That is, slopes are equal. Two lines, slopes are equal for x at 2 and x at -2. What does that signify? That signifies that these two lines are parallel to each other. And how are you going to write? Because this is the explanation, but this is how you are going to follow. Next one is y is equal to x cube. So we have y equals to x cube. Find the points on the curve, this one, where the slope of the tangent is equal to the x coordinate of the point. If you assume x and y are the points of any point can be regarded as xy. The slope is x. The question is saying that the slope is x. And how to find out the slope from the equation? We just dy by dx. We differentiate, we get 3x square, and we equate it to the slope. What is the slope in this question is x. So you have 3x square minus x. I'm taking x on the left. 3x square minus x equals to 0. You take x common. 3x minus 1, this x is equal to 0, that means, or 3x minus 1 equals 0, that is x will be equal to 1 by 3. So we have two values here, x at 0 and x at y by 3. Now I'm trying to find out the y value, because just place x as 0 and 1 by 3. You get for x equals to 0, y equals to 0, and at x equals to 1 by 3, it will be 1 by 27. So these are the pair of points on this curve where the slope of the tangent is equal to the x coordinate of the point. So this is how you're going to solve it. Concept remains the same. The way you write is how you get the marks. So this is all about this exercise. Thank you so much and take care of yourself.